Meghalaya Power Minister James Sangma today gave a detailed response to corruption allegations made by Congress on various projects under Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited, accusing the opposition of playing petty politics. Last month, the Congress had questioned the increases in the cost of estimates in projects including the Asian Development Bank funded smart meters, the Ganol hydroelectric power project, and more. The leader of opposition Dr. Mukul Sangma had accused the ruling MDA government of using the corporation as a milch cow.
It is firstly necessary to clarify certain things where misconstrued facts have been put out in the public domain to skew opinion. At this point, it is necessary to be totally transparent and open with the public, as the NPP led government believes in being answerable to the people. And ADB financing is primarily a loan given to the central government. The central government then functions as a guarantor for the loan, which is then passed on to the state government as a grant from the central government. By extension, this means that there is barely any debt burden on the state, as the sovereign guarantee is given by the center. Regarding this, pertaining to the tendering process to favor only one bidder, as alleged by the opposition, the tendering process for the ADB projects was done as per the ADB guidelines. This is, incidentally, the same practice followed across all other states in India. All necessary approvals were taken from the ADB for each and every step during the tendering process. Tenders were called through an online e-tendering portal through a transparent competitive bidding system. This resulted in the contract being awarded to the technically qualified bidders who quoted the lowest bid. In the case of smart meters, only one bidder qualified as per the technical criteria. In fact, the tendering process went on for 6 months, and all necessary approvals were taken from the ADB. Despite that, no other technically qualified bidder was found as per the guidelines. Cost enhancement of 18%. The revised arrangement for ADB expands the scope of development. In the original scope of work, out of 1,80,000 total meters, only 75,112 were smart meters. The revised arrangement made all of these 1,80,000 meters dual mode hybrid smart meters. The government of Meghalaya stays committed to ensure that every household of the state is deployed with smart meters facility. The enhancement of the smart metering component in the revised arrangement is a resultant of adding 1,05,000 dual mode hybrid smart meters to the previous scope of work. So 75,112 plus 1,05,000. Allegations of non-approval of funding agency for phase 1 and phase 2 of the Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Jyoti Yojana, that's the DDU-GJY. The phase 1 and phase 2 budget for the DDU-GJY has been approved by the Rural Electrification Corporation, that is the REC, which is the funding agency. No project under the scheme can receive funding if it is not approved by the REC. Hence, this allegation stands nullified. The centre has also given a green signal to phase 2 budget through the District Development Coordination and Monitoring Committee, that is in short form DISHA, the abbreviation, and hence doesn't warrant any confusion or ambiguity. The allegations of project cost increase of the Ganol hydroelectric power project, this also has been mentioned a lot of times by the opposition, the leader of the opposition and other leaders of the opposition, and I would like to clarify on this. As is common knowledge, the Ganol project was initiated during the previous tenure of the previous government. The previous government, after several delays, cited that the project would be completed by February 2018, and we all know that they have failed in keeping this promise. Why they failed is necessary to be cited. The geological study of the project site conducted while the Congress was in power indicated deficiencies in the survey and inspection, the SNI. Their contractor encountered fractured rocks and loose boulders and therefore struck numerous roadblocks because of this. In other words, even they encountered geological surprises or issues. The 2017 CAG report flags this prominently. The report also cited that the DPR fleshed out in 2007, when the Congress was in power, was faulty. The project was approved as early as 2008, despite it being flagged as unviable. Despite taking almost a decade, the previous government was not able to make the project come to its fruition. When the NPP-led government took stock of the project, it had two choices to make. So when we were given two options, it could have been that we cancel and waste hundreds of crores of public money, these which were spent in a very unplanned manner, or the government had a choice of infusing the additional required funds for the project to make it viable and benefit the state's citizens and to see that this project sees the light of day. And we took a conscious decision to choose the latter, that to rather than allow a wasted expenditure of hundreds of crores to go for making sure that this project, which is a very important, not just for the state of Meghalaya in general, but for the Garo Hills in particular, that we must go ahead and make this project complete this project. Allegations on the Saubhagya scheme. Although I have clarified about the Saubhagya time and time again on the floor of the August House in the Assembly, yet still the opposition seems to be not satisfied with the replies. So therefore, once again, I would like to take this opportunity to throw some light on the Saubhagya scheme. It is necessary to mention here once again that as the NPP-led government stays committed to developing the power sector of the state, it successfully brought the Saubhagya scheme into the state immediately after it came to power. We all know that this Pan-India scheme was launched by Honorable Prime Minister, by the Government of India in the year 2017. And this was a time when the Congress government was leading the state of Meghalaya. However, despite this being such a great scheme which would benefit our citizens immensely, the Congress did not bring it to the people of Meghalaya, even though all other states did. For some reason best known to them, they did not. But we felt that this scheme would benefit our citizens, and we felt that we must implement this. Two companies from outside the state were awarded the project at 51% above the schedule of rates. That is again something that is being repetitively mentioned by the opposition, and I would like to clarify about this. The two companies which were awarded the project took part in an online e-tendering process as per the central government guidelines. Companies quoted the lowest bid. They were awarded the work only after due approval from the central government. All the prices quoted by the lowest bidders were verified by the central government agencies, and after they approved the same, only then were the letter of awards, the LOAs, issued by the state government, by the MECL. Regarding the prices of few items as alleged by the leader of opposition, it should be noted that this was a turnkey project, and the complete bill of quantities was vetted and duly approved by the central government agencies and experts. 100 local contractors received contracts at the schedule of rates. The schedule of rates, which again I would like to point out that the Congress has been repeatedly mentioning this. This schedule of rates was brought out or designed by their government back in 2014. So this is like 4 to 5 years prior to the award. The local contractors pitched to take up the work at those SORs, and which is why they were awarded these projects accordingly. Under the Saubhagya scheme, with the combined efforts of all contractors, I am very happy to inform that 2,146 villages have been electrified in a record 1.5 years gap of time, with all registered users covered under the scheme. This has happened despite the stretched manpower during the pandemic and other crises that we have seen. Another thing is another issue which has been raised by the opposition has been regarding the one-time settlement for industries, which they claim will result in a loss of 700 crores to the power department. Excuse me. The total outstanding dues that the industries owe the power department is 180, that is 180 crores, making it preposterous for the state to lose 700 crores because the outstanding dues is only 180 crores. Since 2002, no settlement of dues has taken place and electricity was still being supplied to the defaulters. In fact, under the previous government, in 2017, the one-time settlement or the OTS was attempted, rather unsuccessfully, by the MECL. To respond effectively to this legacy issue, the NPP-led government came up with a plan wherein the defaulting industries could save either 30% of their total outstanding dues or 100% of their delayed payment charges, whichever would be higher. The arrangement has been undertaken to ensure that the settlements can take place in a gradual manner for the state to recover the losses and also to ensure that industries which have been defaulting for a long time have an incentive to pay up. Friends, at this point, we do not see the need to play along the lines of petty politics of the Congress party. If they have chosen that path, perhaps that is the only way they feel that they can stay relevant.